Good morning. This is Damo from the Charter Connection Fishing Charters and the Charter Vessel Diversity out of Gulf Harbour Marina. Just with another update of what's happening, or in this case, what's not happening in the Gulf. Sounds a bit negative, doesn't it? But anyway, we have been, we've had yesterday off and today off, do some maintenance and other bits and pieces. I've been using the time to clear some emails and do a few other things, and also talk to a couple of the longliners and one of the trawlermen, so I can pass on some information about what's happening there with them. What's been happening? About a week ago, around the time of my last report, so possibly 4 or 5 days ago even, we were fishing the workups along the bottom end of Waiheke, and I really don't know what happened over there. It just really turned to crap. There was patchy workups. They were there almost daily in a pretty wide area, sort of from Waiheke through to the top of Coromandel. And then for some reason you'd go to a workup, you'd fish it. It would be quite an intense workup for a few minutes, whatever, 10 minutes even, some of them, and you'd pull 15 fish, and that would be it. And that would be it for the day. You wouldn't see another workup. The dolphins and mammals, there's a few whales there, it would all just fade away, and it really was pretty bloody demoralising, to be honest. Of course, then you spend the rest of the time working in that area and driving around and doing other bits and pieces, and we did actually find a bit of fish off one workup about an hour after it finished, purely by having a decent think about it, and I'll explain to you how that came about after. But it was really stink. It just really didn't fire. I just don't know what happened there. Maybe there's just not enough snapper there to... maybe they're not hungry enough, maybe they're following the dolphins around eating their turds, I don't know, who knows. But anyway, that's what happened. It was pretty quiet, so we moved. And we've been fishing further north now. We've been working the huge Kawai schools in between Tiri and Carwell. There's been quite a lot of pan-sized fish through there, the odd bigger one, but it's not fast and furious. You have to spend the whole day there to do all right out of it. Also along the back of Tiri, in sort of 35 to 45 metres, on the Auckland side of the telecom cable, or the Whangaproa side of the telecom cable. That was okay. Also, further north, when the weather was nice, we got up to Horn Rock. Did okay there, anchored south of Horn Rock at about 35 metres on the edge of some foul there. I know a number of people fished that that particular depth through there with pretty good success. We burleyed hard, and we got quite a good range of fish. No big snapper. There was some small kingfish, poor eyes, John Dory, a couple of big trevally, snapper to about 50 centimetres. Bit of a mixed bag generally, about 40 fish for that. And then we moved on from there when the Kuta showed up, and went across the Jimmy's Foul, did a drift through there. Quite a few drifts through there actually, picking up a couple of snapper sort of every drift, but again they weren't the flashiest looking fish, and they were skinny, pretty spent looking, just unusual. Anyway, then we were back a couple of days later, and we did Flat Rock. We worked south of Flat Rock and anchored in 30 metres, basically due south of the brick itself, and just had a big burley trial running through the foul there. It gets quite shallow up through there, sort of 4 or 5 metres in the worst of it, or the best of it. And that was okay, but then it was short-lived too, and we spent 6 hours there for about 8 fish. They were quite good fish, but they weren't, and a few Kawai and trevally and dory and other bits and pieces. So, but there's about 8 or 9 snapper. But we were just determined just to sit it out and try and pull some fish out of that weed. It just didn't happen. There was a couple of barracuda there as well, but they didn't come in plague proportions as they have done in the Gulf. So generally, it's been a little bit lean, and this doesn't particularly widen my crank. So here's what I'm going to be doing. We're going to be fishing little barrier. Some of that foul south of Little Barrier, 5 Mile, 3 Mile, Cod Rock, Horn Rock, Jimmy's Foul, and the Colville Channel. That's what we're going to be doing. So I'll keep you posted on how that goes. The weekend weather looks pretty good. We have public holiday on Monday as well. Incidentally, I've got some spots open for that. And part of our $99 special, come fishing in one of those areas with us for the day for $99. Pretty damn cheap. Want to get on board with that one. Maybe if you've got a small boat you can't get out to places like that, so it gives you an idea of what's out there and how those sort of areas fish. $99. Get hold of me on the interwebs, www.charterconnection.co.nz. Flick me an email, deepsea@clare.net.nz, or you can find me through a text on 021 244 6346. And I'll just leave you now with how I rethought this World Cup action that was happening the other day, and how we got onto a few extra fish just out of that. So okay, so after a World Cup's finished, and I'm using this pretty crude graphic for this demonstration, but anyway, after all that aside, after the World Cup's finished and you're left there sitting, and the gannets have all gone and the dolphins have disappeared and the whales swum away, and it's all looking pretty quiet and you can't catch a fish to save yourself, give some thought to this. If the wind is blowing the boat this way and the tide is running this way, the scraps from the World Cup would have filtered down this way, but up on the surface you're actually going away from where all that's filtered down through here. So you're going this way, scraps are going that way, and you're actually going away from where the fish would possibly still be feeding, or possibly not, depending on the case. But anyway, so what you really need to do is reposition yourself, and to do that, of course, you're going to have to go that way, because that's where the bait is going, so, or the scraps or the leftovers is going. This stuff will get polished up pretty damn quick, I would say. Some of it may not even hit the bottom. What we do is pretty straightforward. If we think that the bait has gone, perhaps down into this area here, we'll move the boat up a little bit, and we will then chum pretty hard out with very small cubes of pilchard, about the size of your little fingernail, and we'll actually try to recreate what was happening back here. And that works a little of the time for us. Twice now we've done that, but I'll be quite honest with you, we've had to move an easy 200 metres before I even saw a flicker of a fish after that World Cup had disappeared. So it just goes to show how quickly they gobble it up and how quickly that stuff moves once it's in the water column. So there you have it. Pretty basic stuff really, eh? Give it a go.